What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Manny Gomez, aka Fortress, back at it again with another video. And today is New Comic Book Day. We're doing it different because I had a few things to get to after work, so I got time to go to the comic book shop now. So let's go. Say hi to the pup. Say hi, Nala. New addition to the house. All right, y'all, so we're in the car. We're headed to the comic book shop. It is currently 6:21, so hopefully I could get there before the shop closes, and we will be able to pick up this week's pulls. Honestly, though, this week's pulls is really nothing, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I'm pulling one comic. It's Spider-Boy issue 15, if I'm remembering it correctly. So it is what it is. This, I believe, is a 5th Wednesday of the month for January. So at least for me, it's real short on pulls and stuff like that. But enough of that. I'll tell you the most recent comics I just read the last couple days. 2 being my most anticipated reads last week, which were issue number 22 of Superman and issue 13 of Ultimate Spider-Man. So, honestly, both gas. Oh, I also picked up Ultimate Wolverine and read that, and let me tell you, gas. Crazy. But I'll start off with Superman. So, currently with Superman, Doomsday's back in the picture. But in this specific issue, a enemy, if you will, came and is infiltrated in Metropolis. So kind of continuing from the last issue, and they were asking for Superman to turn over Doomsday, and by doing that, they would spare Metropolis from getting attacked. But as long as they turn him over. But you know, my boy in red and blue, he ain't about that. You know, he's saying that there's got to be a different motive. There's got to be a reason why you're telling me to let him go. Like, we know who he is. He turns out to be Radiant, which is the last guy who was of his species that Doomsday had demolished. And Superman just, you know, Superman does his Superman thing, bro. So, of course, they get into to battle because he refuses, and lo and behold, Doomsday and Superman are fighting side by side. You know, so far in this arc, though, from what I'm understanding, I could be wrong, but in this arc specifically, there's a Doomsday that's like that's kind of like the ghost. Now, how do you say it? Like what are they called? Like a Grim Reaper. There you go. So this Doomsday is kind of like a Grim Reaper, if you will. But he's essentially he's coming up, and he's not expressing nearly at all. He's telling Superman that he needs to defeat or keep this Doomsday safe because it's like it matters to the timeline or whatever. So I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. But all in all, though, I think it's super cool seeing Lois Lane as Superwoman, and I just love the dynamic in both the characters. They are so good, honestly, so good. Clark and Lois, and being Superman and Superwoman. So I super enjoy it. Super. But I am enjoying that title a lot. And Dan Mora is on the covers and interiors, and as of right now, I think he's my favorite artist, and as someone who's drawing and coloring, well, I'm sure he's just drawing Superman. But yeah, enough about that, about issue 22. Next, though, is Ultimate Spider-Man issue 13, yo. And we just got introduced to Kraven the Hunter. I think it's super cool. We get a black suit Spidey. But for those of you that aren't following the series, the Ultimate Spider-Man series is about I want to say, I believe, I'm gonna botch his name. I think it's called the Maker's Council, or the Council of Maker. Anyways, it's a character in the story that has stripped the entire universe of its powers. So like normally in main continuity, like the way everybody would normally get their powers is how everyone gets their powers. But in this specific run, this guy, essentially kind of like the creator, he's altered the reality so that anyone that was becoming a superhero was not becoming a superhero. I hope that makes sense. But throughout this entire story, basically Peter Parker gets his powers sent through a telegram of Tony Stark with the radioactive spider, kind of making him woke that the reality that they're living in isn't the normal reality, you know, if you will. So we're seeing how Peter is kind of at an older age with a family and kids with Mary Jane, is kind of learning how to become Spider-Man. So it's been super dope. In that you meet Harry Osborn, and Harry Osborn is the Green Goblin. Now they're sharing these identities and kind of crime fighting together, which I think is pretty cool because it's a lot different than what we know Spider-Man to be, if you will. With that being said, though, in this current issue, right, they were captured by Kraven because they were crime fighting. I want to say at the end of the first arc, going into the second arc, because I believe we started in the third arc, if I'm correct. The Kingpin is kind of like the head of the Sinister Six for the Maker's Council. With that being said, the Sinister Six is covering all the different boroughs of New York and whatnot. So once they've spotted, you know, Spider-Man kind of doing his thing, they've pretty much were sent out by Kingpin to kind of take care of him, if you will, you know. And in light of that, now it's a little bit more dangerous for both Peter and Harry out there as they're, you know, fighting crime, as they're doing their thing, you know. So all that to lead up to Kraven and this most recent issue where Kraven has captured both Spider-Man and Harry. And how do we know this? Well, at the end of issue number 12, we find out that at the Christmas party, because it was a Christmas issue, that Peter Parker actually wasn't there, present, you know. It was actually the suit that was present. So in reading, you know, the older issues, as Peter was establishing kind of the identity he wanted with the suit, because the suit is kind of like it's not AI, if you will, but essentially it's kind of AI, you know. He's able to communicate with the suit, and you know, it kind of talks to him and helps him, you know, guide him, if you will. So he, instead of coming up with like someone, you know, like a voice of like Mary Jane, or like seeing someone that he truly cared about, he enacted himself to be kind of who he's talking to, you know, which is very Peter Parker, you know, because, you know, he really does a lot of reasoning with himself. The suit, though, however, it takes over the shape of Peter Parker while he's absent, actually kidnapped, you know. So we find out in this issue 13, you know, that the suit is actually talking with his son, Richard, if I remember correctly, Peter Parker's son, Richard, and he's kind of teaching him the ropes, if you will, as Spider-Man. Well, not really teaching, but like essentially like preparing him to wear the suit if he were to take over during his dad's absence. So it's really cool that happened, but then we get a little bit more light of, you know, the scenario. So all that to say, though, is in this issue we see Harry and Peter captured by Kraven the Hunter, and with that being said, we learn, you know, kind of what Kraven's intentions are with both Peter and Harry. You know, like anything, the capture it was a little too easy, you know. So to kill him, he's going to hunt them essentially. So as of right now, they got dropped into this kind of makeshift like Jurassic Park kind of world that I think, if I remember his name, is one of the enemies is Mole Man. He's got like a underground sanctuary of like this weird kind of, like I said, Jurassic Park-esque kind of place. And yeah, they're gonna have to like survive. They're gonna have to essentially, you know, like save themselves from getting hunted. So issue 13 was so fire. I'm really enjoying that Ultimate series, and that's probably right now like the only one I'm like staying faithful to, even though there's a Black Panther title, there's an X-Men title, and then what else? I think it's the only one. Those are the only like 3 right now, and then they just dropped Ultimate Wolverine, I'm sorry, that just came out a few weeks ago, you know. So that's a perfect segue into, you know, talking about that book. That book was so cool. I didn't know what to expect, honestly. Never really, I can't say really, I've never read anything X-Men. You know, I've only known the shows and the movies, really movies more than shows, you know. But I think sooner than later I'm gonna have to read some good X-Men. So if you have any recommendations, let me know where to start and where I could like dive into some X-Men, you know, and whatnot. But going back to this Ultimate Wolverine issue, it's actually kind of gas. It's cool. We find out that Wolverine is actually the Winter Soldier. Though his name is Logan, so it's still Logan, but instead of Bucky Barnes, it's him. It's Logan as prepped as the Winter Soldier. I think it's a crazy origin story because like he was a victim of an attack, and then he got deleted essentially, right? Like they shoot him in the head, the guy who found him as a survivor, but because he's Logan and he has regen abilities, you know, where they found him, you know, he was in a way healed. So but I'll tell you this, his suit fire. The fact that he has that Winter Soldier mask cover, he looks more scarier than like even the normal Wolverine, you know. But he has some fighting sequence that is totally dope. You know, he's murking everybody, let's be honest, you know, even though he's getting, you know, like they have some attacks, if you will, but he's scary, you know. There was a panel though that gave off like a Captain America kind of feel, because he's in a plane hovering where he's gonna go do his mission or whatever, and the 2 soldiers across from him are like saying, oh, you know, that's this guy, you know, and then the other guy's like, you know, they're talking and they're kind of like in a way whispering, but dude, the Wolverine's hearing everything, you know. So he gets up and they get like super scared because they think he heard what they said, but all he was doing was opening the hatch to jump off the plane, and then they realized that he didn't even have a parachute. So he was like super cool. But yeah, I liked Ultimate Wolverine a lot. So that was a pretty sick read. I'm still catching up on a lot of my DC stuff and whatnot, so it's gonna be a little bit to read, but honestly, I'm just trying to read. I'm right now just reading the titles that I'm most enjoying, you know. So I still got the recent issue of Void Rivals I have to read. I have the Spider-Boy, and then I got a hefty amount of DC titles because I still have to read Batman. I still have to read like Titans and Nightwing and Question Along the Watchtower. So there's quite a few books I still gotta dig deep into, but you know, I'm really enjoying the titles that I'm reading and I'm talking about. Those are like my top. So I'll do a video on that soon, like my top, you know, comics that I'm reading that I recommend and stuff like that. So just be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I mean, that's all. Super Bowl is on its way. I got to keep the sports segment. You feel me? The Super Bowl is on its way, and we're gonna see Kansas City go for history, and we're gonna see if the Philadelphia Eagles could do it, if they could knock them off of the top, man. You know, Saquon Barkley is having a historic season. The Eagles look like mad good. So it's going to be super exciting to see what this Super Bowl game is going to look out like. So I'm super excited. I'm biased. I'm going to go for history. So I'm going to go and I'm going to vote for Kansas City. So let me know who you're voting for and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I'm excited. It's going to be super dope. So, but yeah, all that to say, we're almost on our way to the comic book store. It looks like we're going to have some time to be able to even peruse after I pick up what I got to pick up. So I'll catch you at the comic book store. We are here. Let's go get the pools. Fire. We got the pools. They're very slight. Also, walked out with a poster. Super cool. So, let's get home and we'll show you the list. We are back in the Fortress of Solitude, aka Fortress. Get it? Play on words. It'll roll off the tongue better, if you will. But anyways, YouTube, we are back from the comic book store. We are here in the house, and we got a couple issues that we pulled. Starting off with this back issue, probably been out for a month or so, maybe a couple weeks. I could be wrong, but I picked up this issue 1 of Kidpool and Spider-Boy, and I just love this color. I love just the goofiness, you know, with the Nerf. It's like Nerf bullets, you know, that Kidpool is shooting, and it looks pretty good. Anything with Spider-Boy, I gotta pick up because Spider-Boy right now is probably my main and favorite Spider-Man that's going on. So I'm just being honest. Next we got we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto crossover issue 2. Bruh, fire. This was pretty cool. Last issue was pretty cool, and I'm excited to see how this carries on. And I'll be honest with you, anything that TMNT is crossing over with, I think is just gas. I've read the Batman, I've read Power Rangers crossover with TMNT, and I just think it's, like I said, I just think it's gas. This week's pickup though was DC's Green Lantern issue 19. I am a few issues behind on this, mainly because I think it was either I couldn't find them and then I did, but nonetheless, I'm trying to read some more Green Lantern, and so far with this all-in arc, I think it's great. And then last but not least, we got issue 15 of Spider-Boy. Speaking of Spider-Boy, this is so far has been gas. This so far has been so good. I'm enjoying it. Last issue left off with you know, them in a tournament of champions, if you will, against other mentor and mentee. So Spider-Boy just so happens to be a mentee of Daredevil, and one of his opponents are Bullseye, of course, and Spider-Girl. So super dope. Excited to read this new issue and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, small stack, only 4 issues, 2 being current, you know. So but I do got some stuff coming in. I got some shirts that I ordered, and I got some other books, you know, that I got. So just be on the lookout for a haul video soon and whatnot, of just some things that I'm excited to kind of dive into. I'm also planning on doing like a reading goal for the year. So yeah, just be on the lookout for some other videos, whether it's going to be on here or it's going to be on TikTok and Instagram. So if you haven't already followed me, first and foremost, subscribe to my channel and like and leave a comment and turn on notifications, because you got to be able to know when I'm posting. And if you're not already following me on my socials, there's a Linktree link in the bio of this channel that you can go to, and it'll take you to my TikTok and my Instagram, and give me a follow on there and just stay updated. I obviously post more on there from day to day. So but yeah, that's all this week, you know. Checking out from the Fortress of Solitude. But yeah, no, love comics. Be blessed and peace.